Hi, love. This is Rose. We're going to be working on your tarot reading. Let me just get my lights on. I didn't turn on my lights. I have a Halloween set up because I am doing spooky readings. So I'm just going to be using the cards that I had pulled out for the previous readings that I did for clients, which is the Halloween tarot, the Madame Medora's fortune cards, and I'll probably be pulling from the Oracle of Oddities, I feel. Actually, maybe I won't do the Halloween tarot. Maybe I'll use the Trick or Tarot. I think you'll like that one. What's this one? It has a real vintage feel to it, and I think you'll like that one better. So we're going to be looking at the three aspects that you sent me an email about, which is work, love, and spirituality. We're going to start with work first. I'm going to save the spirituality / the cleanse last, because I feel like that's the one I can spend the most time on. Work is not my favorite topic to read about, just like it's not everyone's favorite topic to even do because that's the one where we feel the most stress with, right? So work, we're going to look at where you're at emotionally on an energetic level with work. And with that, I want to see, where you're at and where you're headed. I don't do readings where I tell the client where they're going to be working. That's not the kind of reading I do. So, but I can definitely give you just an idea of emotionally and energetically where you're at. Okay. Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. King of Pentacles, Page of Wands really makes me feel this is just, there's a lot of people. Anytime court cards come up in readings for work, that just tells me there's a lot of people, and a lot of people create drama because everybody has a different kind of an energy flow to them. We have the Old Scratch, which is actually the Devil card, okay? The Wheel of Fortune, and the Six of Pentacles. You are definitely well overdue for a change of environment. I'm going to say that. The Wheel of Fortune, right below the King of Pentacles, tells me the King of Pentacles can actually represent you, but I'm also feeling pulled to say this is representing a coworker or a boss that you are no longer aligned with. And I feel like that might also be causing you to feel the reasons, the emotions of wanting something different. When we're not aligning with someone in the workspace and it's just miserable, that makes it a hell of a lot harder to want to stay put. So I feel like the King of Pentacles is actually representing that type of energy. For the Wheel of Fortune to pop up right below him, Wheel of Fortune to me is anytime that we are in need of just basically a change of energy, the wheel is going to be turning to have a new like a new cycle coming on. So I feel like the shift is going to be happening. It's a 10 card. I feel like with the 10 card, it's kind of saying like this. I mean, if we were going to use timelines, I would be telling you October. You may feel the intenseness, the intense need for a shift. This is preparation mode, though. I'm not telling you to just pick up and leave the job. Definitely don't condone any actions like that. But I do feel like you need to maybe start preparing yourself for changing your environment, applying for different types of jobs. And really thinking about, because this is, after I read your email, I was like really thinking about how I wanted to approach the work aspect. Like I said, I don't like to read for work because that is the one topic that is difficult on my end, for myself personally. So work has always, I've never had a very, I've always had a love-hate relationship with work. And so I feel like because of that, I don't feel comfortable reading for clients and giving my advice about something that I find a little bit of a challenge for me too. But with that said, I want to say definitely a change of pace is necessary. And when I was thinking about the question, I was feeling you need to tap into something you are more aligned with, something that goes with your talents and your interests, and molding yourself to be able to work and do things that you love based on your interests, but also things that, I don't know, that you just, that it doesn't feel like work to you. And I'll use myself as an example. I really love to read. I love books, right? I love reading. I love quiet atmospheres. So technically I was drawn to the library environment, and that's where I work during the day. And then I do the card readings after that. So, you know, that was my way of molding an interest that I had into work. And that's what I mean for you too, is like finding what is really interesting for you, and what can you do to put, hang on, the light. Thank you. Sorry, it gets so dark in this room with the angle. Sorry, love. I hope you could see the cards. Now I lost my train of thought. Let me take a break. Hang on. I gotta recollect my thoughts. Okay, there's too much going on around me right now. I feel like basically aligning your interests to mold you into doing something that you love. I feel like that doesn't make any sense, but I also feel like it does at the same time. So your personal interests, you know, you can find work that you will feel good about, that you will feel aligns with you better. So for example, if you feel claustrophobic working in an office environment, don't do work that is going to cage you up in a little cubicle. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that kind of stuff. So that's exactly what I mean. That's an example right there. If you like the outdoors, you know, why not find work that you can do where you are working outside or with animals or with plants, that kind of thing. Get crafty with the kind of work that you choose to do is another tip I have for you. Because you can find a job based on your interests, and you can be picky, but I guarantee you when we start the element of being really, really picky, we also risk, you know, our options being limited. So, I just feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry, my love. I don't like to read about work topics, and I feel like that's the reason why I can't connect so much with that, because I always have trouble with work myself. So I hope that was helpful for you. I mean, when it comes to work, I just say, girl, go with something that you are interested in, and don't align yourself, or like, don't compare yourself with friends who are like doing big and bad things, right? Because we have those friends who are study bugs, you know, they are in college and they're in university and whatnot. And then if we're not, we feel like we're not, comparing to them. And I feel like, you know, don't fall down that rabbit hole. You don't need to do that to yourself. So that's another thing I have to say too about that is like, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. But as far as like getting yourself involved with work and to love it, it's basically just changing your attitude when you're going into work, driving to work. Tell yourself, this is going to be a good day. This is going to be a good day. And learn to not care about what other people think. Learn to not let certain coworkers, especially if there is a certain someone that is just getting under your skin, don't let them do that. Okay? Yeah. You have a lot of people in your workplace that you work with, a lot of different energies. So maybe I would say another thing that's coming to me is solo work. So doing things that are more, you know, just you. It doesn't require you having to work around a bunch of people. Maybe that's another thing that is going to be better for you, is more quiet spaces, things like that. The Chariot, this could be travel for work, or this could be maybe the idea of looking for work in further locations in order to expand your horizons, if that makes any sense. I'm going to jump off the work topic because that's just giving me anxiety. Let's move over to the love. I love doing love readings. That is more my animal. So love for you. I wrote down in my notes, you wanted to talk on romance. You are currently on a break. You're currently on a break with someone, but you still very much care for one another. So let's dive in and see how things are going for the two of you. Oh, there we go. Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the Four of Cups, Ten of Cups. Beautiful. So definitely with the two of you, you're definitely in the creation, recreation mode. With the Seven of Pentacles is pretty much like you're in the process of needing to renew things that have gone old and dry. The process of needing to make better what you once had. This break that you are on, I would hope that the two of you are working on yourselves. So you are working on you and they are working on them to better to better one another, so that you can, when you reunite and come together, you will be better for one another, if that makes sense. I feel like that's what needs to be happening. This break is not simply just so that you could be single, yet you have a tether attached to that person, just in case. This should be a time, this break should be a time for the two of you to really be focusing inward, fixing things about each other, about yourselves, that maybe was a reason for the breakup in the first place. The Four of Wands is a home card, so that makes me wonder if the topic of moving in together came up, or maybe you were already living together and maybe this is what caused issues to fall apart, or the topic of when you do reunite, maybe this is taking it to the next level. Right below that is the Ten of Cups, and that's family card too. So I feel like that's like the main goal here with the relationship, and any relationship that you are in. You want to be with someone that you are comfortable with, to say, I can live with you. I can open myself to you. I can open my heart to you. I can live with you. I could see myself having a family with you. That is the ultimate goal there. And I feel like maybe that is one of the hurdles that you were having to jump over with this individual. And that is something that you were both are working on. The Four of Cups came up, and again, that is, you know, kind of like a card of needing to be solo a little bit, because Four of Cups energy can be sometimes a little bored with the routine, or they could feel just not motivated, right? So maybe that's the direction that you were seeing yourself in this relationship, and so maybe before things really got dry and broke apart, you were like, you know what, let's take some time, let's take a break. I feel like the element of excitement needs to be reintroduced to this relationship. Okay, so we have the key. These are locked doors can now be opened. So what was once a hurdle in your relationship is now something that can be changed. Are you calling me? George, were you calling me? Oh, sorry. Okay. This can now be changed. So if the hurdle was moving in together, or thinking about that, or feeling like, I don't know if I can, you know, this is it, if this is the one, let's take a break so that I can figure it out. You know, that could be something there. But I feel like whatever was causing these hurdles, is actually going to be opened for you. Like the opportunity, the doors are opening. There's going to be some new stuff happening for you guys. this break was actually a really good idea on your part. This was probably one of the best things that you could have done for this relationship, to renew it. So I feel like that is a good thing. The Spider, be meticulous and patient. So that's coming up too, is saying don't try to rush things. Don't try to make things happen when they're not meant to, or when it's not time, especially with a Four of Cups. Somebody in the relationship, you or that other person, was feeling very they were feeling more unmotivated than the other, and may have caused the reaction of let's take a break kind of thing. So I feel like with the Spider, it's needing to be patient, especially if you want this relationship dynamic to work. That's going to be very important. And then the Minstrel, let your intentions be known before you reunite with this person, before you actually open your doors to this person again and you guys start over. You have to really set your boundaries and tell them, and they need to tell you, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship. Can you fulfill that? And the same goes for them. Let them tell you what is it that they are looking for in a relationship, and ask them, is this something that we can fulfill together? So let's look in the future before we move on to your spirituality. And I apologize, my love, for all of the little disruptions. I'm doing my best, but sometimes there's little distractions around. And I have to chase hubby out of the room because I can't have people around me when I'm reading like that. It distracts me. So I apologize for any interruption. Okay, so we have Four of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So I feel like for you guys in the future, this is the Six of Pentacles is really even balance of giving between you and this other person. Okay, as long as you are willing to put enough work and effort into the relationship, but they are doing the same and it's equal, you guys are going to be okay. The King of Swords is telling me there needs to be more communication and there needs to be more truth. Okay, so perhaps there's a little bit of lack of trust with the other person, or someone is afraid that one person is holding in, not really giving. You're not really opening up as much in a conversation type of a way. So being truthful and honest is huge. And then we have the Five of Swords, which can be very, very, very problematic. This is like, don't bring up, this is what I'm feeling. Don't bring up stuff from the past when you were arguing. Don't bring up things that you guys have once argued over and have rehashed. Like, don't bring that old stuff up. You want to make sure that what has been forgiven remains forgiven. It's buried. It's done. You don't bring it up. So that's another little thing that's popping up, because I feel like one of you goes there when you argue, and that can be another reason why things go all over the place. But aside from that, I feel this break will kind of teach a lesson to you two, of how valuable you guys are to one another, but how you both need to be willing to put equal amounts of effort to make this relationship work. The Hourglass, time is of the essence, is so true. You don't want to totally diddle-daddle with the process of being in the break, but you also don't want to rush it, because the previous oracle card said that. We don't want to rush making things happen in the relationship, but at the same time, we don't want to prolong it because you get too comfortable, right? And the other person might get tired of waiting. So then I feel like, and that's going to be more on your side, I feel like you're going to start getting antsy. I miss having a significant other. I miss having time to spend with that person. And eventually you're going to start saying, you know what, it's time. Let's move on with our lives. You know, why are we waiting? We should be happy together. Let's move in. Let's go find a place together. Blah, 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 blah. Like that kind of stuff. I really feel like, that's going to start happening, but you're only going to be good for one another as long as the two of you are both working at making things better. Okay. So I just wanted to pull some additional oracle on the love before we move on. Whoop. So we have sorrow, hope, dreams, voice, which is communication, solar plexus, and anxiety. Yeah. I feel like it's like, you have a good thing. You're worried about, that if this doesn't work out, that you've wasted time. I feel like that's a big one. I also feel like you have huge dreams that you want to fulfill. You have like this whole idea of, and you may not admit this to a lot of people, but I feel like you have an idea of what you want for your future. And you're going to start, like the sorrow and the anxiety is there. It's almost like you will somewhat feel like you are slower than some other friends who are progressing in their romance. Like, I'm not married yet, or I want to have kids, but I'm nowhere near that yet. So I feel like that's where that is, the kids thing, because I see the solar plexus coming up, which is in our bellies. So maybe you had those desires, or you had those fears of, am I ever going to have kids? Like, or am I ever going to get married and get to that point? That kind of thing. These are like worries, and these are validations of things that you have. These are fears. But at the same time, I feel like it's all going to fall into place for you. Like, I don't see anything negative for romance for you. I feel like it's just, you're in this little bit of a stagnation right now in a lot of areas. Your work life, the romance, and your spirituality is a stagnation because you are getting ready to make big moves. So I think that that's normal. So it's nothing to worry about, love. That's just how it is. Okay, let's talk about the spirituality. Now, I was really intrigued when you wrote down what you told your friend about feeling like your soul needs a cleanse. I was really intrigued by that, because I feel like you were right on the money about it. And a cleanse doesn't have to be this like drawn out crazy ritual, right? It could be simple. And I feel like for you, it's all the power, like a lot of our power of manifestation is within our mind. So I feel like you can easily do the cleanse simply by every time you take a shower, you imagine that the water is washing away all of the bullshit, all of the anxiety, all of the fears and the anger and other people's crap that you absorb in the workday, all that stuff. A shower will cleanse you from that. I mean, it could be as simple as that. And then I feel, if you light sage, you can light sage, cleanse your space, especially your pillows. So the pillows come to mind where you lay your head to rest, your bed. I feel like you can definitely do that. As we're talking about cleansing and your spirituality, rebirth came up. So rebirth to me is definitely, you're dying to your old self and you are renewing. You're like a renewal is coming up. You are changing. You are different. And maybe this is why you are experiencing so much stagnation in your life, because you are getting ready to be reborn. We have nightmares. We have separation. You need to learn to separate yourself from the good and the bad. Separating yourself from toxic people. Separating yourself from worries, from stresses, and toxic people at work. So yes, I do feel like you are in need of moving on from work. I feel like you are in need of moving on even from certain friends. Certain friendship dynamics are no longer they're no longer working for you. So if you have friends that you just feel, I don't feel aligned with you anymore, our interests are too different, or every time we're together we're always arguing, or it's just gossip all the time, those, you need to start cutting yourself away from those people, because that's only going to add to the stress, the anxiety, the lack of, like I wrote down, you don't have spiritual mojo right now. You even said so yourself. You used to be into the crystals and stuff, and now you're not feeling connected. It's usually because you're just exhausted. You're spiritually exhausted, which is fine. We all go through that. So many aces, an ace of wands, an ace of cups, the 9 of swords. So your fears, your stresses are popping up spiritually. Maybe you have been experiencing a lot of nightmares. That is an indication of stress. It's an indication of allowing outside forces to influence you. If you are really taking out the trash, and by the trash I mean certain people, places, things, foods that no longer align with you, you're going to renew yourself. It's a rebirth. The aces are a sign of new beginnings, by the way. The Oracle, seek wisdom and guidance from elders. So is there a certain someone in your life that you feel you can gain a lot of insight from? Is there a certain someone in your life that you trust, you know? Or is there, you know, a certain person you like to follow on Instagram or on YouTube that really inspires you? You know, your elders. It doesn't have to be someone who's older than you, but could it just be somebody who is on the path, but maybe they're a little bit more advanced? Utilizing these people to be inspired by. The Talisman, you are destined to succeed. And the Wizard, use your skills to aid others. So what are your skills, my love? That brings me to what I was trying to talk about earlier with your work. You have skills, you have talents, you have things about yourself that are amazing. You should utilize those to help other people. And maybe that will bring you to where you are meant to work. What kind of work you were supposed to be doing. Is this, you know, working in a facility where you aid other people? Or is this healing work? Is this doing readings? Is this, I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but I'm just throwing the ideas out there. You're feeling a call for change, and with that comes shedding. And the fall season, this time of year, is perfect for the shed. And I feel like that's why maybe you're feeling that urgency for a soul cleanse, because the month of October is upon us. Fall is literally like a few days away. It's on the 21st or 22nd, I believe, is the beginning of fall. And with fall comes shedding. The leaves are dying. The trees are dying. They're you know, they're letting go of themselves. And with shedding comes renewal. And I feel like that's what we're seeing here for you on a spiritual level, but also it'll tap into all of the other areas of your life. The aces are renewals themselves because they're the beginning of a cycle. So I do see that that's happening. And I feel like if you tap into one area of your life, it's going to influence the others. And so I feel like trying to battle work and romance and your spirituality all at the same time. Sometimes I'll tell clients, you know, to give a little to each area of their life. But I'm feeling for you intuitively, I feel like if you were to focus more so on your spirituality and yourself, like in enhancing yourself, that is going to actually seep into the other areas of your life that you are questioning. And to be honest, I think it's going to be the answer to a lot of things. You're going to be working on yourself, which is what you need to do for your relationship. And then you're also going to be tapping into your strengths and what is it that you need on a personal level, which will actually influence your work life, because you may see the value in yourself and not need work. So do you see how the flow happens when I'm tapping into something that I'm more comfortable with? I feel like the words just flow through me. But like when I read for work, I get so like, because I don't want to give the wrong advice. I do worry for that. I don't want to give the wrong advice to you guys. And work is not my strength, so it reflects in my readings, which is why I don't give a lot of business advice. Okay, so let's see. Let's just pull randomly. I like doing those kind of readings better rather than doing a spread. What is popping up here? Five of Wands, the Star, Ace of Pentacles. You are your own block. Your past, leave the past in the past. The Five of Wands. Leave conflicts, leave distractions, leave people who don't align with you. Leave them in the past. Usually we do this in around New Year time when we leave people and things and worries in the past. I feel like you need to start doing that now. You are not in conflict with anyone. You are not in competition with anyone. Let those people who think they are with you, let them go. You don't need people like that around you. The Star card is about healing. So that is what your focus is right now. Healing you. Your spiritual journey needs healing. And then the Ace of Pentacles, the opportunity awaits you. That's exactly what I'm seeing there. The Satire, revelry and indulgence. Indulge in things that you love. things that make you feel happy, things that feed your soul. This is what you need to be surrounding yourself with. And this goes with the type of people you hang out with too. Fire, reckless actions lead to conflict. So don't do anything. Don't participate in anything that you know is not good for you. And also fire is passion. So again, you need to be absorbing passionate things. You need to absorb yourself or surround yourself with things that feed you and that fire your soul, that fuel your soul, that give you passion. And the golem, a close friend acts on your behalf. So maybe when you're doing this amazing transition, this amazing like change in yourself, and like I said, there's going to be certain friends that are not going to stick around, but you're going to see some true colors come out in a positive way. So that golem, that person that's going to be acting on your behalf, they're going to be sticking up for you. You're going to probably have a whole wave of new friends, I would say, in the next 4 months. That's like just an intuitive feeling I have. Brand new friendship circles are going to be happening. You're going to be hanging out with people that you didn't think you would really associate with based on their personal interests and where they're at in their journey. Spirit. I love it. So your connection to spirit, the communication you may see that opening up, especially around October. If there's spirit that you want to connect with during the Halloween season, you know, October, the veil is thinning, all of that. Spirit is around. Maybe the spirit is also a sign of noticing symbols, signs, numbers, things that are going to be sticking out to you, and you're just going to know that is spirit's message for me. Be very, very open to this, and, you know, write it down so you don't forget, or snap a photo if you catch a number sequence or whatnot. I feel like you're going to start seeing a lot of synchronicities, especially when you tap in to your spirituality more and you allow this healing process to take place and you invite the change. You're going to start seeing more synchronicity. Divinity. So again, look at the symbols. We have the eyes. So it's almost like, you know, spirit is watching you. Spirit is there. And then we have friendship, which again, like I was saying, I feel like within the next 4 months, your friendship circles are going to be changing. You are going to be seeing so many shifts in yourself. This is really good. This is exciting. I do think that out of the 3 paths that we read on, I feel like spirit is going to be talking to you most. Your path that you need to be tapping into most, I should say, is your spirituality. Everything else is going to fall into line with that. And at the very bottom of the deck, we have the key. Locked doors can now be opened. So I feel like as I was saying that, as you tap into your spirituality, you're going to be opening new doorways. This is going to be the key. This is the key to unlock other things. And with that said, my love, this concludes your 30-minute reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I apologize for the minor distractions before, but I hope that you were able to get most of what you needed to hear from this reading. Take notes. Feel free to watch and rewatch the video. And if you want to share this with anyone, you will have to send them the direct link, as this will remain a private video. Thank you, my love, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.